All right, we're back here at the New Jersey Wine Expo down here at Bellworks in Homedale. Very special guest here, Secretary of Agriculture, Ed Wengryn. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Nailed it.
Nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you. So this is a really cool event, the first ever New Jersey Wine Expo, right?
So we've had small wine festivals, but
Sure.
this is the first expo. It's also the launch of New Jersey Wine Month. So it's the first time. We've always done Celebrate New Jersey Wine Week.
Yeah.
And for this year, it's our first time doing New Jersey Wine Month. And it kind of leads into our holiday season. So opportunity to talk about our New Jersey wineries, the quality of the products that they're producing, and to introduce New Jersey citizens to this important part of New Jersey agriculture.
Yeah, let's talk about the important part of New Jersey agriculture, because we're the Garden State, right? Like, we're on Greetings from the Garden State, the radio station, Radio Garden State, but I think people sometimes forget, like, the deep agriculture roots that, no pun intended, that the state has.
And that's it. It's, you ride around the state, you kind of see our largest land use. So
Yep.
You see cornfields, hay fields, soybean. That's our largest land use. Our biggest commodity sectors are nursery, greenhouse, and landscape. So one of the things I love to talk about is, in 2 years' time, the world is coming to play on New Jersey grass.
Yeah.
The World Cup is coming. Our turf farms are already developing the fields that those athletes are going to play on across the Northeast. Behind that, we have our fruits and vegetables. And right up there in our fruits, we have cranberries, blueberries, and the wine industry is an important part of that. The growing of grapes and the production, the value added, turning grapes into wine, is one of our really big growing sectors. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we had maybe 8, 9 wineries. We're at 56. But we also have farms that are just growing the grapes that our wineries are using. New Jersey, we're like the 5th largest consumers of wine. We're like the 13th largest producer.
Yeah.
And the gap in the gallonage is huge. So there's a huge growth potential for people to grow grapes and then have our good wineries, again, those who are part of the Garden State Wine Growers Association, turn those fruits into a product that I think our New Jersey consumers would love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing stuff with the Wine Growers Association now for a little over a year and a half, I guess, actually. So, and just kind of now learning more about, like, what the wine industry is like here in the state. There are a lot of really great vineyards, a lot of really great wines, and all that kind of stuff that come out of the state. So your role as Secretary of Agriculture, so what are ways that you are helping support the wine growers and then getting them in front of the people that they need to get in front of?
So one of the things that I want to do in my role as secretary is to introduce New Jersey citizens to our wines and wineries. I think people have assumptions about our wines. We've heard people talk about like I've been, people have a bad California wine.
Sure.
They move on.
Yeah.
It's like, that was a bad one, then I'll just have it. People have a bad New Jersey wine, and they're like, oh, all New Jersey wines are bad.
Yeah.
And they hold it against the whole industry. What we're learning is New Jersey isn't one California. For as big as California is, they have a few growing regions. We have 4 growing regions in a state a tenth of the size of California.
I'm not a math guy, but that sounds right.
So we have a diversity of growing regions, and that's influenced by water, air temperatures, frost dates to frost-free dates. And those are all the things that play into what goes into the flavor of the fruits. We don't have a single growing region where, we're like Washington or Oregon, where Pinot Noir is going to be our grape.
Sure.
We can grow Pinot Noir here. It's in parts of the state that you can grow those grapes. Other parts of the state, we have other varieties, and our Cabernet Francs, our Chamboursin, those are grapes that we do better here, but nobody knows.
Right.
So until you try them and experiment with them and learn what they mean in a flavor profile, when you mix them with a Cabernet, with a Sauvignon Blanc, or the reds, those are the things that's exciting about New Jersey winemaking, is the variety of grapes we can grow that a lot of people don't know about. And that's one of the things I want people to encourage and come out and try.
Yeah.
So on that end, I'm launching what we're calling Secretary Select. So we're going through, we're meeting with all of our wineries, we're tasting and sampling, and I'm going to launch between 5 and 7 wines from our 30-something wineries, wines I enjoy.
Sure.
So things that you can have on a summer afternoon, a crisp white with some good fruits and cheeses and call it a dinner.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to cook.
Sure.
To what are good reds that go with, Jersey lamb and our beef. If you had the beef stew on a cold winter night, what would be a good New Jersey wine to go with that?
Right.
And that's the stuff I want to take advantage of and introduce people to how you can use New Jersey wines every day in your life. And as an introduction to, hey, these aren't award-winning in a sense, but these are things that I find and my friends find drinkable, usable, everyday, comfort wines.
Sure. I mean, listen, getting to tour a bunch of vineyards and wineries and try a bunch of wines, it's kind of a cool thing to do.
It's a cool component of the job.
Yeah.
It's also a little nerve-wracking.
Sure. I mean, you got to pick between a lot of really good ones.
There's a lot of really good ones, but, we're focusing on what are the grapes that are grown here and what are the ones that are unique to the vineyards.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're not talking about like, oh, yeah, I also bring in fruit from California or I'm getting fruit from Virginia or New York. This is
homegrown, baby.
Homegrown.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm like learning about some people who are in this business who are, we have a Asian pear farm that produces wines based upon their pear products, the Asian pears and apples. So they have a Fuji wine.
Yeah.
And again, it's not fruit heavy the way you expect. It is actually more delicate the way you would expect a wine. We have another grower, Rambling Sheep, who they go and buy the end of the day fruits from farmers markets.
Sure.
So New Jersey raspberries, blackberries, apples, cranberries, blueberries, and they make wines from those leftover products. They also do some ciders and hop-infused ciders for a beer-like flavor.
Yeah.
Again, New Jersey products. They're here at a wine show, but their peach wine, as they call it, is really a product made from New Jersey peaches and distilled down to its essence, where you have a very peach-forward fruit wine without being something so fruity that you can't drink it.
Yeah, right. So I got here in the middle of the first session. I knew that this was going to be a successful event. To be totally transparent, and I've known people from the growers now for a while, like I mentioned, I didn't expect it to be this poppin'. There was a lot of people here. Everybody was having a good time, trying all the wines. We had some people that were actually like finishing up and on their way out. They were like, "Can I talk about how great some of the stuff that we just had was?" And they all had like bags and bags of bottles that they were walking out of here with.
I think this is a great thing for the industry, for people to have this opportunity instead of traveling the state.
Yeah.
To go and visit all these wineries, because we have them from Cape May up to Warren County and Sussex County. We cover the state. Here you get that one-stop shopping almost experience, and then it gives you, as we finish up our agritourism season in New Jersey, people were just out doing pumpkin picking and hay rides and corn mazes and apple picking. Now's the chance to kind of spend some time as this nice fall weather is continuing. Go visit our wineries.
Yeah.
Come here, get a taste of them, and then say, oh, there's 5 on this route through Atlantic County that I can stop and visit. 2 or 3 on my way to a concert in Atlantic City. Start at the beginning of your day and move your way through the state.
Yeah.
Holiday season coming up in Cape May, people go see the Christmas decorations. You can hit some great wineries, including wineries in Cape May, on your way to do that visiting. Again, our western along the Delaware River, leaf season has kind of wrapped up, but there's some great wineries through Warren, Hunterdon, Mercer County that it would be a great destination as people travel around the state.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been great. I really appreciate you sitting with us for a few minutes and giving us some of your time, which I'm sure has been a busy but fun, productive day for sure.
And if you enjoy wines and are intrigued about New Jersey wines, like I said, look for the Secretary Select brand on some of our wines. It'll be wineries from across the state, but it'll be stuff that I think the consumer is going to go, yeah, I get why he picked this, and I drink this too. And it's a great way for people to learn about how diverse our New Jersey wine industry really is.
For sure. I love it. Well, Secretary Ed Wengryn of the Department of Agriculture, we're here at the New Jersey Wine Expo at Bellworks in Homedale. This is the Greetings with Garce podcast powered by the New Jersey Lottery. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Mike.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was so great.
The Mayo Performing Arts Center is the heart of arts and entertainment in Morristown, New Jersey. MPAC presents over 200 events annually and is home to an innovative children's arts education program. To see MPAC's upcoming schedule of world-class concerts, stand-up comedy, family shows, and more, head to mayoarts.org or just click the link in our show notes.
All right, we're back here at the New Jersey Wine Expo. I'm Mike Ham. This is the Greetings with Garce podcast powered by the New Jersey Lottery. We're here with Madeleine Cozine. Got it? Got it right? I see, I say it before we start recording, and then I doubt myself, But we nailed it. So, from Working Dog Winery, you said you're the...
I'm the vineyard manager.
Vineyard manager. So you said, this is the cleanest your hands have been in a while, huh?
Yeah, probably since last spring.
Yeah. That's amazing. What goes into managing a vineyard? Now that you got me on a totally other question that I just started thinking about. So what goes into that? Well, obviously, there's a lot of dirty hands, but there's a lot to it.
Most people don't realize that grapevines are a perennial crop like apple trees.
Sure.
So they need year-round attention. And like apple trees, they get pruned in the winter. So I have a little bit of downtime right now, but then come the beginning of January, I'll be out there in the cold pruning the vines. We prune them to select the most fruitful buds for next year.
Sure.
And we also prune them to kind of manage how much fruit we're going to have on each vine, because lower yielding vines give you better wine.
Right. And so how did you personally get started in wine and vineyards and all that kind of stuff?
Wine has always been something that's been a passion of mine.
Sure.
I'm a scientist by trade.
Okay.
And I teach chemistry and food science.
Sure.
I like to grow things, and I love the science and art. So I kind of got into it about 10 years ago, volunteering at a vineyard. Loved it, got into it, got some education in viticulture, which is the science of growing grapes for wine.
Okay.
So
that's really cool. It's crazy to think that maybe it's not crazy, but just from a science background to then getting in the fields and pruning vines and working in the dirt and all that kind of stuff. I mean, to me, that's just kind of an interesting jump from one thing to another. But I guess it's the hands-on. People don't think of wine as an agricultural product, but it's a product of the earth. Sure.
It is literally sunlight into your glass.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. And so, okay, you are here with Women in Wine Caucus, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about what that is, and then who's a part of it. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory in the name, but what initiatives you all are kind of pushing or whatever. So
the Women in Wine Caucus started about 3 years ago with a young woman, Tory leader, who is now in Oregon.
Okay.
But she was looking basically to form a group of women, because there aren't that many of us in the industry to kind of be resources for each other, be supportive of each other. And the group is grown, and there's a steering committee of about 6 of us, and our mission is to provide resources for women who are in the industry, as well as outreach for women who are interested in becoming active in the industry or looking to figure out how to get into the industry.
Yeah, and so I've only really been doing stuff with the Garden State Wine Growers Association maybe for a year and a half now. I think the first ever thing we did was we had Dustin from Cedar Rose on the podcast, and Devin actually, last summer, I guess that was. Just kind of we just went down to Millville or wherever that is, and then recorded with them. But learning more about vineyards and wineries in the state of New Jersey and how many that there are, which I think people don't even really realize that, and knowing that it's still a growing thing that's almost kind of, there's a lot of potential there for like just growth within the vineyards and wineries that are already here, and then just kind of opportunities for other people to come in. So with the Women in Wine Caucus and you being a part of all of that, I'll get to my question. I'll land the plane here.
It's okay.
So talk to me about how the Women in Wine Caucus and the women in the industry and all that kind of stuff has grown alongside the industry as a whole. Has it been kind of, or are there more things to do, more work to be done, I guess?
There's a lot more work to be done.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot of women in the industry who are not even aware of our existence.
Sure.
So that's one of the reasons we're here. And it's the state. It's a big state, so we're focused more down in South Jersey and getting sort of some of the North Jersey wineries and the women in leadership roles involved in the organization. We are also looking at ways that we can partner with other states in the Mid-Atlantic region.
Yeah.
But some of the things that we do equipment training. I've hosted pruning workshops. We do wine sensory workshops. And it's also a group where it's people you can call when you have a problem, whether it be in the vineyard or on the winemaking. Hey, have you ever seen this before? What do I do about this?
Sure.
So it's nice to have people that you can collaborate with.
Yeah, so, it's one of those things where it's, I guess in some capacity, like when we do stuff with restaurants or breweries or whatever, there's some people that I've met in the past that are like, oh, well, if they're buying something from somebody else, they're not buying it from me, and it's like that zero-sum game. But the one thing that I've kind of noticed amongst, the Wine Growers Association, particularly the stuff that we're talking about now, is that that's not really the case when it comes to the wine growers here in the state. It's like a very collaborative, very like rising tides lift all ships kind of thing. And I think that for where the industry wants to go here in the state, like you need that, and having resources like you and the Women in Wine Caucus and all that is super important for things that are happening here in the state in that industry, right?
Yeah, no, you made a very good point. The only way we're going to grow this industry is to be collaborative, to share ideas, to share what works, to share what doesn't work. And I think that, the Garden State Wine Growers is a great place to start that networking for someone who's new.
Sure.
And meet people that you can ask questions. Everybody is very, very open. Everybody is willing to share. There are no secrets. It's kind of, wine's a cool thing because you can have a winery and then another winery 3 miles away, and you could be growing the same grapes, and your soils are different, and how you want to make your wine is different, and you're going to have two really different wines, even though they're the same grape.
Sure. Yeah, that's to me, that's like, the science end of it, but that's just like incredible to me. Like I'm not a scientist. I do like this stuff, but okay. So I walked in here probably like halfway through session 1, and knowing the people that I know in this organization and all that, like I knew that it was going to be a success, right? There was no doubt about that. But I don't think I quite grasped like the energy and how many people were going to be here and all that kind of stuff. Like that was awesome to kind of walk into. And now session 2 is rolling right along, and it's the same vibe. So this has got to be an awesome thing for everybody here, right?
It's a very exciting place to showcase how far New Jersey has come with the wine industry. Devin's done a great job organizing this. It's come off flawlessly, and I've had a lot of fun talking to people about the wine industry and what I've done in the industry. It's an amazing event.
Yeah.
And I really like that people are discovering New Jersey wine and how good it can be.
Yeah, we had, when I first walked in, I hadn't even finished setting up the mics and the camera and everything, and like I had 4 women that were they came here together, and they're like, can we just like talk about the stuff that we really like today? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So they just started
Nice.
rolling through like the ones that they tasted they really liked, the ones that they bought, like all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's what this event really is all about,
And I hope that everyone that's here visits New Jersey wineries in the next few months.
100%. Yeah, that's the key for this, right?
Yep. Keep the tourism up, keep the interest up. And also, I don't think people realize that every year the wine's different because Mother Nature throws us a different set of parameters in the vineyard to deal with. So what people taste here this year will be very different next year.
Yeah.
Which is the fun thing about growing wine on the East Coast versus the West Coast.
Totally. Well, this has been great. Thank you for taking time. I'm sure you got a lot of things going on over there and taking a couple minutes to sit with me and chat, and appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Absolutely.
It's nice to meet you.
So that was Madeleine from Working Dog Winery. She's from here in let me start that again. That was Madeleine from Working Dog Winery. She's here with the Women in Wine Caucus. This is the New Jersey Wine Expo. Greetings from the Garden State podcast here. I'm Mike Ham. We'll be right back.
Looking to buy, sell, or rent in Monmouth or Ocean counties? Megan Carroll of RE/MAX Elite brings local expertise and personalized service. Megan will make your real estate process smooth and stress-free. Bringing Southern hospitality to the Jersey Shore, call Megan today at 732-508-7402 or visit her website at mcsellsbythesea.com.
All right, we're back here at the New Jersey Wine Expo with the Greetings from the Garden State podcast powered by the New Jersey Lottery. I'm Mike Ham. We are here with Hank Zona, the MC today of the New Jersey Wine Expo. Hank, welcome to the show.
Mike, thanks for having me, and thanks for giving me a chance to sit down for a while.
Yeah, for sure. I saw you standing over there, and I was like, Hank needs to take a load off real quick. So
Thanks. And I was up on the stage for the first session, running some conversations and panels, so thanks. And it's nice to be able to talk with you.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm excited to chat with you, just because, we've had on Secretary Wengryn, we had on Madeleine from the Women in Wine Caucus, we've had on some actual patrons from the first session that just wanted to come on and talk about the wines that they liked.
Yeah, that was fun.
They were having a good time.
Yeah.
The ones that they tasted that they liked, the ones that they bought that they, really liked, of course. Take me through, as the MC of this event, and kind of knowing all the work that kind of went into this. When I walked in about halfway through the first session, I was like, this is impressive.
It's real.
It's real. It's awesome.
It's funny you say that, because even Devin Perry, who's running the show, runs the Wine Growers Association, I don't think she even knew. This is a first-time event, first time using this space.
Yeah.
And, we looked at pictures, looked at floor plans. You still don't get a sense of it. And when I walked in, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And then when I saw the people coming in, there were over 1,000 people coming here today, not counting who's in the room here pouring the wine and representing. So I was like, this is working. This is really good.
Yeah. So someone like yourself, obviously, there's a reason why they chose Hank Zona as the MC for today. So why? Why do you think they picked you?
I cover wine really globally.
Okay.
But I live here in New Jersey, and I'm big on supporting small producers, local producers. My whole thing is, if we're going to eat local, we need to be drinking local too.
Sure.
And there's good wine being made here, and I think what's happening in this room today proves that. But a lot of people have this mindset that, I'm going to eat better, but their self-advocacy kind of stops before they get to what they're drinking.
Yeah.
And you still get, I did a wine dinner 2 nights ago, and it was some amazing food. And 40, 50 people who were at that dinner, not one of them was either familiar with New Jersey wine or thought that New Jersey wine was good. By the end of that dinner, we were giving out 2 VIP tickets for this event here today.
Yeah.
Every person handed me a slip of paper with their name on it if they wanted to be here.
Yeah.
So it comes down to the fact that there is good wine being made, but it's just not in people's consciousness.
Yeah. And so someone like yourself that's kind of, like you said, covered wine internationally, really, but living here in the state and knowing what the state's producing, so you kind of been aware of what's going on with this industry here in the state of New Jersey for a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
So I run wine events for a living.
Okay.
From running wine events, I've gotten into speaking about wine, from doing content, video content, and also writing about it. So I write for a lot of different New Jersey publications and outside of New Jersey. So that's given me a really great view into not just the wine side, but the whole grower culture in the state. We are the garden state. One of the things I tell people is, of course there's wine in New Jersey. If you look at the state cornucopia, which was made in the 1780s or 1790s, there's grapes on it.
Yeah.
So they've been here, and I think, and the challenge that a lot of the winemakers face here, they know they're making good wine. The next step now is kind of getting the word out, and I'm one of those people who advocates for it, because again, if we're going to eat local, support small businesses, support Jersey tourism, agritourism. This is a great way to do it. And it's not good wine for New Jersey. It's good wine by any standards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when I think you're a Jersey guy, I'm gathering.
I've been living in New Jersey for about 35 years, so I guess I'm pretty much.
Yeah, you're doctored in. So when when you're covering Jersey wine specifically, and
Yep.
maybe like writing about it or whatever, do you feel almost kind of like a sense of like responsibility to kind of make sure that the ones that, because you're obviously like a day like today, like you're working with the people here, like the vineyards or the vineyard and winery owners, like you're kind of working hand in hand to make sure that this event goes well. But then obviously covering it is kind of like its own thing too. So kind of like putting it out into the world to make sure that people know what they're getting.
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, wine's a relationship business.
Yeah.
And I've got relationships with the people here over the years, whether I've written with them, collaborated with them, been a customer of theirs, all these things. You form those relationships, and you can form relationships with small wineries that don't make a whole lot of wine.
Sure.
It's not the corporate entity that makes 1 million cases of wine somewhere else. These people are real. They're the ones doing it. They're farmers first and foremost. Like other farmers in the state, everyone romanticizes wine, but it's agriculture, and it's heartbreaking and backbreaking. So I sort of feel not that I feel a kinship with them, but I really want to promote them because they're the ones doing it. They're the ones who've got their hands involved in it.
Yeah.
And again, you see the grower culture in this state. There's so many good things, and when people say, "Oh, that can't be good," it is good. There's so many good things that are happening here in our garden state.
Yeah.
And I love, for over 10 years, I've been doing an annual dinner of sorts that showcases just New Jersey food and drinks.
I love that.
And so everything on the plate and in the glass is from New Jersey.
I was just trying to put something like that together this year.
Yeah, and the challenge still is, it's not even with the wine. It's like New Jersey beef, that could be any good, but there's lots of good stuff happening here. And I'm happy to promote that because we all want to eat better, source locally.
Sure.
And this is a great way to do that. But again, I think our advocacy stops a lot of times with what we eat,
right,
and doesn't extend to what we drink.
Yeah, because you don't really think about it.
You don't think about it. Yeah. Like I go to some BYOs, and people go to some of the best restaurants in New Jersey because they source the food incredibly well, they handle it incredibly well, they prepare it well, they serve it well.
Yeah.
But then I look around the room, I'm profiling people in the dining room, and they're drinking like some mass-produced wine from California.
Right.
And I said, there's a disconnect between what they're eating and what they're drinking.
Yeah,
and I want to try to make that connection.
Yeah, and I also think like sometimes I've gone to like places, like you said, high-end restaurants around the state, and they'll say like, oh, these are our local selections for cocktails or wines or whatever, and they're from like
distillers,
Philly,
or
they're from like New York, like Hudson Valley or whatever, and it's like it's not it, man. Like it's here.
Not Jersey.
It's not Jersey.
Yeah.
Like, that's not local. But okay, so at the risk of leaving somebody out, knowing as much as you know about the New Jersey wine industry, what are some of your favorite? We'll take it like high-level vineyards around the state.
Before I start going into that, again, people are like, wow, it's New Jersey, they're making good wine there. And one of the things I like to tell people is, Franzia and Barefoot come from California, so not every wine from California is good.
Right.
And
I've taken that bag out of that box before. And I drank right from it.
Yeah.
I think we all have.
You gotta slap it a little bit, right? Yeah. So I tell people, if you have a bad wine from California last week, you're not holding it against the whole state.
Yeah, right.
You had a bad wine from Jersey 20 years ago, you're still holding a grudge against New Jersey. And it's just not right. Is every wine that's being made in the state for me, in my style that I like? No, but that's okay. People have different tastes.
Exactly.
What I think is great that's happening in New Jersey, not only is there good wine being made, but the wineries that are making good wine keep getting better.
Yeah.
Like with Secretary Wengryn, we just were tasting over at Alba, and Alba's one of the quality producers in the state. But I think the wines I tasted here today are better than the last time I tasted through them 4 years ago with them. So they all keep getting better. Their games keep getting better. A lot of them communicate with one another. There's a winemakers co-op in the state with like 6 of the wineries. Some of the better ones too: Auburn Road, Beneducci, Hawkhaven, Working Dog, Unionville is in there, Heritage, and they communicate with one another. They collaborate with one another too. Yeah. So one of the things I've seen from covering wine elsewhere, the best regions tend to have this collaborative relationship with one another. That whole that rising tides lift all boats attitude, and I'm starting to see that happening here in the state. The other thing I think that's going to be important to really elevate it all. People trust their chefs. They trust their restaurants. They're they're the sort of the top tier of opinions on quality. And I think what I've seen in other emerging regions is when there's buy-in from the best restaurants and best retailers with the wineries in those regions, like I've written about and visited Vermont and Michigan and Columbia River Gorge in Oregon, which is on the opposite side of Portland from Willamette Valley. The best restaurants and best retailers are in on supporting with those local small wineries.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen here. It needs to happen more.
Yeah, and I think honestly, with the show, we wind up doing a lot of stuff in the hospitality world, and we've worked with a lot of chefs and some of the best ones in the state. There's like literally no better time for that because, I mean, there's like, I don't know how many James Beard nominees right now in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
There's really high-end quality food scenes. Like some of the best food scenes in America are here in Jersey. And like
what's happening out in Western Jersey right now is amazing in Hunterdon County, both from a maker and a grower culture. And people have no idea some of the stuff that's actually being grown and raised and made in New Jersey right now. It's remarkable. Then you can go to so many of these great food towns, if you will. Go to Edison, right? Go to Jersey City.
Montclair.
Montclair. I just finished. I live in Maplewood. I just finished doing Newark Restaurant
I'm in
Week.
Bloomfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Broomfield's coming up too, right? And
100%.
Nutley, because they can't afford to be in Montclair, so they're going
Coming out.
They're going ring. Newark Restaurant Week. I do a lot of stuff down in Newark. I wrote a story for Eater on the next wave of restaurants in the Ironbound alone.
Oh, amazing! I'll have to read that.
So there's just good stuff happening, and part of it is, I think, again, because people have latched on to the grower culture.
Yeah.
There's also an influence, I think, from Philadelphia and New York.
Sure.
Philly's turned into a great food and drink town.
Yeah.
New York's always been.
Always been.
And I think it was Ben Franklin who called New Jersey the barrel between two big.
Keg tapped at both ends.
Yeah, tapped at both ends. Right? Yeah. And guess what? The keg's pretty full right now, I think.
I love it. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you for jumping on with us.
Cool.
Taking a couple minutes out of, I'm sure, a busy day for you, but get you off your feet a little bit.
Thanks, man.
Chat
I
a little bit,
appreciate it.
and put you on the other side because you're just walking around asking people questions and doing kind of like a little man on the street type stuff.
Yeah.
But, take the pressure off.
It's great meeting, great having you here, and let's talk again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in Maplewood, we'll go to Common Lot. We'll go.
I'm just down county from you, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool.
All right, so with this, that was Hank Zona. We're here at the New Jersey Wine Expo at Bellworks here in Holmdel, New Jersey. Greetings from the Garden State Podcast, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. We'll be right back. All right, we're back here at the New Jersey Wine Expo. Greetings from the Garden State Podcast, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. I'm Mike Ham. We're at Bellworks in Holmdel. Now stepping up to the mic is Ella Champney. Ella, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm just going to have you move a little closer to the mic. That's my bad.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just got dropped off over here.
I did. This is impromptu.
Yeah, no, but it's great because we like to kind of get, we can't just have all the dignitaries or whatever on the show, but talk about what the stuff that you're doing here today, and then how that kind of impacts the wine growers and and we'll get into the rest of the stuff as we kind of progress.
Awesome. Yeah. So what I do during the day, I'm the marketing coordinator at US Foods. I just got that job a few months ago. I graduated college in May. Came out doing winemaking and business development at Auburn Road Winery. I opened my own LLC, and I do subcontract work for the Garden State Wine Growers Association and Women in Wine. I've been starting to do a little bit more work with Women in Wine, doing some of their social media, emails, and helping get some events started.
Sure. And so I guess Women in Wine, I think we just had Madeleine on the show earlier, or on this episode earlier, and just talking about kind of that caucus and how it's impactful to the wine industry as a whole, but still has a lot of room for growth for sure. And I think the stuff that you're doing definitely assists in that, right?
Definitely. So I think a lot of people don't know this, but in New Jersey, a lot of winemakers and a lot of vineyard owners are women. Yeah. And so just to be able to gather such a strong group of women together, I think is really important. And also, even if they're not necessarily interested in being a winemaker or owning a winery, but wanting to support the women in the wine industry and learn more about wine and grow their knowledge, I think is really great.
Yeah, and so what got you kind of like, so you said you graduated college in May, and what got you started in like the wine industry, or like that you know, that interest? Like, how did that come about? Was it just like, I like wine and these are close?
Yeah.
Was it, you know, that could be it, honestly.
I do love wine.
Sure.
I love a good glass of white wine. But when I was 16, I actually started working at Auburn Road Winery as a bus girl. So I was bussing tables, I was around wine, I was just like seeing behind the scenes of a small local winery, and I've kept that job ever since. Now I still serve there, but I served there all through high school and college, and then they actually asked me to start taking over doing some business administration work, answering emails, and helping with their social media as well. So just through my like college experience and their trust, since I've literally worked there almost half my life, borderline, they gave me the opportunity to step into those roles. And so the winery has always kind of been a part of my teenage years and now into my young adult life as
it's like
work.
Built into your DNA now.
So I automatically love wine now. Shout out Auburn Road Winery for my start in the wine industry. But then they introduced me to Devin, who obviously is the chair of the Garden State Wine Growers. So it's just really small world connections that have gotten me into it, and it's a great community of people. So let's dig into that a little bit deeper too, the community of people, because I've been doing stuff now with the wine growers since like July of last summer. So like I had Dustin and Devin on the show at Cedar Rose, and then last year when it was just New Jersey Wine Week, there was no month. We started doing stuff with them then too, and then now here we are, obviously at the expo. The one thing that I've noticed is just like how collaborative everybody is, how welcoming they are, and how like everyone, particularly the people in this room, which is everyone that I've kind of interacted with in that year and a half span, just like wants everyone to succeed, because if everyone succeeds, that's really good. The rising tides type of thing. Has that been your experience as well? Definitely. I think just like New Jersey wineries always want to support each other. I think outside of the state, that's not always the case. It's a little bit more about competition. And even in the Women in Wine group, they have meetings as like the winemakers to help like figure out like, hey, like, are you guys experiencing this with the soil right now? Or when you do this to the wine, does it make it more acidic? So they are like collaborating and helping each other make their wines better. And it's not viewed as like, oh no, we can't help anybody else and reveal our secret. Because there is no secret to wine. It's quite frankly, it's different every year just because of the grapes. Exactly. So it's just really building that community and building that knowledge together. That is really, I think, unique to New Jersey.
Yeah. My last question for you. I walked in probably like halfway through the first session and was blown away with like the amount of people that were here, and then just like the energy of the people that were actually here too. So this has got to be like all the work that went into this. Pretty cool.
Oh,
right?
It's amazing. I don't think even like behind the scenes, I don't think the wineries, like any of the workers, anybody was expecting this great of a turnout, and we really are just happy to be showing off these wines here today. And I think it's great for the community and great for all the wineries. So,
awesome. Well, Ella, thank you for jumping on the show with us for a couple minutes. Really appreciate it. Absolutely. So that was Ella Champany. We're here at the New Jersey Wine Expo at Bellworks in Homedale. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely.
Hey, sorry to interrupt.
All right, we're back here at the New Jersey Wine Expo at Bellworks in Homedale. Greetings to the Garden State Podcast, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. I'm Mike Ham. We're here with a repeat guest now.
That's right,
so
second time.
It's actually very rare that people get to be on this show 2 times, and here you are.
All right,
Dustin
I feel
Tarpine,
special.
Yeah, Dustin Tarpine from Cedar Rose Vineyards. welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So this is it's a little bit different circumstances that we have you on the show here, but we're at the New Jersey Wine Expo. It's crazy. There's so many people here. The energy's awesome.
Yeah.
I went to go try to get a little taster filled up before this, and all the lines were too long, so I gotta hustle back. But I'm working.
There you go.
So,
that's right.
How's it been for you in Cedar Rose?
It's been great. I mean, the both sessions turnout was incredible. Really good group of people too. I mean, just a lot of people asking a lot of questions about the wines. Really getting interested in the wines and talking about it, which is what we love to see. We love to see people actually get interested in the wines and actually want to have a discussion about it, asking about where it came from, asking about where it was grown, that sort of stuff. And so, no, we've been really happy with it. Everything's going really smoothly, and so it is the first annual, right? So you got to be, we kind of take that with a grain of salt. But everything's been going great. It's been a really good event so far.
Listen, for the first annual anything, I mean, there's a lot of growing pains that happen with a lot of things, and obviously I'm not on the inn, so I don't know. But it seems like, as a participant, basically, this thing is like a well-oiled machine at this point.
Yeah, that's the facade is incredible. Yeah, you don't want to see how the sausage was made, but it really is. Everything went off smoothly, and it's just really been a great event for everybody. I went around and talked to some of the wineries to see how they were all doing, and got good feedback from everybody. Talked to a lot of the customers at other people's tables too, because we were going around doing a little tasting and kind of doing a little bit of that too, and nothing but good feedback. We'll definitely be doing it again for sure.
So people that may be unaware of the episode that we did last summer, which is crazy to think that was last summer, like a year and a half ago was when we first did that, or when we did that episode. Let's talk about Cedar Rose, kind of like high level, like what kind of wines you produce, where are you, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Cedar Rose Vineyards, we are located down in the Vineland, Millville area. That's usually how I group it.
Rosenhain.
Rosenhain is the town, but when I say that, nobody knows what I'm talking about.
What's that? Yes. Radio Garden State. Oh, it's just internet radio right now.
She's having a very
People are
good
having
time.
an awesome time.
Yes, people are having an incredible time.
We're just going to leave that in because it's on camera.
Yeah.
We got the whole thing. So, Rosenhain.
Yes, Rosenhain. So Rosenhain is a little tiny town right off of exit 32B of Route 55. So if you're going down the shore, the southern shore, Cape May, all that, you're probably getting pretty close to us.
Sure.
We've got 22 acres of vineyard that we grow on there. We specialize in estate-grown, estate-produced wines. So we one of the things that we try to make our hallmark and that we're really serious about is making sure that we're doing 100% Jersey-grown product that goes into our wines.
Yeah.
And so we like I said, we have 22 acres that we grow on there. That all goes into our estate wines. And then we do get some grapes occasionally from other vineyards, but it's always New Jersey fruit. And so that's the big thing for us. Because getting into it, me and Steve Becker, my business partner, we're both Jersey-born. I can literally see my parents' house from the winery.
Yeah.
And Steve's parents' house as well, because we grew up as neighbors. We want to do New Jersey proud, right? I mean, we don't want to be bringing in fruit from other places. The only way you can really make a mark in this industry is to be doing it with fruit grown from that region, or else what are you doing, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about it.
Why do it if you're going to do it a different way?
Exactly, yeah. And so we, like I said, we specialize. We actually have like 30 wines on the list right now, so we have a lot of different wines.
I didn't realize it was that many.
It has ballooned. As tends to happen. When I've talked to other wineries, it's sort of the same thing happens. You want to do all these different things, and then you end up with all this stuff on the list.
Yeah.
We specialize and focus on the drier wines for the most part, but we also make a bunch of sweeter wines as well, dessert wines. We make a port style wine now, and in the past couple years, we've really gone heavily into the food as well. And so we basically have like a full kitchen at the winery now, full food menu, rotating specials, all that stuff. So that's probably all new since the last time you were there. We were just sort of getting into it.
Yeah, like that little food truck thing.
And that's still what we got.
Yeah,
we're still working out of the food truck, but at this point we're outgrowing it a little bit. We're going to have to do something else soon.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
It is.
Yeah.
And the food thing is, if people want to go somewhere where they can have the whole sort of package, right?
Yeah.
So the food thing's been great for us. Still out there trying to make good wine, trying to make good food, and continue to grow everything out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I told you this when I came down last year, that your Cedar Rose was the first New Jersey, vineyard winery flat. Like, I'd never been to another one ever.
That's right.
Let
I
alone
forgot
New
about
Jersey.
that. Yeah.
And I was just like honestly blown away. First off, it's like, you know, who gets down? What is that? Salem County, Cumberland County,
Cumberland
County. So not often going down to Cumberland County, but then like driving through it, it's so gorgeous down there. The farms and the everything that's going on in that area, and then you know like your vineyard is so cool and
Thank
so
you.
nice, and just like I think the way we recorded, where we recorded was just like a great
right on the
backdrop.
porch,
like,
on
right
the porch with the vines
in the background.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But I think we also need to touch on the fact that your involvement in the wine industry in New Jersey goes beyond just your vineyard, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually the incoming chair for Garden State Wine Growers Association. So that's the big thing that I'm doing there. I'm also actually sit on the chair of the Outer Coastal Plain Vineyard, or sit on the board of the Outer Coastal Plain Vineyard Association as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me, it's like we don't have a problem really with creating good wines. We have a problem with getting the word out that we're making good wine.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was always like, if we can grow the industry as a whole, then we can grow our own business. You know what I mean? And for me, it was almost easier because you saw where we are. It's gorgeous, but there's not that many people around there.
Sure.
And there's not a whole lot of attractions. There's not a lot of things that are bringing people to that area.
Yeah.
And so we kind of have to make ourselves the attraction.
Yeah.
And the only way that I really saw us doing that was by just literally raising the entire industry up to the point where it's, you know, where people are looking for wineries to go to, and then we can be like, hey, here we are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been a. You know, I never really expected to be in this position right now, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right, yeah.
I was the finance chair last year, and then I ended up getting asked to be the vice chair, and the vice chair rolls right into the chair position.
There you
and
go.
so
As it works.
I kind of got shoehorned into it. But
Yeah.
but no, I'm really excited to be involved. You know, Devin, our executive director, is an awesome human being that, I mean, she's literally like a powerhouse. Like she's such a good organizer and fearless at talking to people and like trying to put things together, trying to make connections, collaborations, and things like that. So working with her has been amazing. And you know, I think we just have a great team right now and a group of people in Garden State Wine Growers that I think are all sort of aligned in the same direction.
Yeah.
Which is
important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody's really just working together to try to raise the entire industry up.
Yeah.
And so no, I'm really excited about the position, really.
100%, as you should be. And congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. Appreciate that.
I think it shows a lot of like what you're bringing to the table when it comes to like the industry as a whole, to like get into that kind of position. And you know, because there's a lot of really cool people that are all trying to like row the boat in the same direction. And
That's exactly right.
for them to look to you as their leader.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't say that. You're gonna start scaring me. Back that down.
Yeah.
But no, it's great though. And like I said, we really do have a really great group of intelligent, dedicated people who are working to push the thing forward.
Yeah.
So you know.
So, last couple questions.
Yeah.
We talked about how great the event is today. What do you think? And this is kind of like maybe this is meta. I think that's what the kids say.
Okay.
Like high level type thing.
Yeah.
An event like this, and this is the first ever wine expo. Like we talked about with Secretary Wengryn at the beginning about how there's been like smaller events and different things. Like we did some stuff last year, went during Wine Week and all that. But like the wine expo, wine month, like all these things kind of like really put a stamp on something.
Yes.
And like, what do you think that this kind of says about maybe the trajectory that the wine industry in New Jersey is taking?
I think we're really maturing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably the best way to put it, is that we're kind of moving out of this like phase where we were this little tiny small region that, you know, there were some producers doing this, some producers doing that, you know, and we're sort of evolving, I think, into this bigger, more cohesive force, honestly, to sort of be reckoned with. That, you know, that we're really just, I think the entire thing is just growing incredibly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I think that that's due to all the hard work that you guys have been doing for as long as you've been doing it, which has been a while.
It's been and way before my time.
Sure.
You know, I mean, there are people who were, you know, who founded the AVAs, people like Jim Corella, Larry Koya, you know, who've been doing this work since the 80s or, you know what I mean, 90s, or some people even before that. Tomasello's been here since 33.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, you know what I mean? So I got to give a lot of credit to literally everybody else who came before us to take this thing seriously.
Sure.
Because when I first first walked into, because I got my start at Bellevue Winery, where I first started at.
Right.
And just walking into the room of the Outer Coastal Plain Vineyard Association and already seeing like the enthusiasm and the cooperation and all of that already there in the room, it was just like infectious, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you taking some time of what I'm sure has been a busy day, but a productive and very positive day.
It's been a great day, and we're looking forward to doing it again next year.
Awesome. Let's hit them with any links, social handles. Where do you want people to go to follow Cedar Rose?
Yeah, so you've got our website, cedarrosevineyards.com. On Facebook, we're going to be at Cedar Rose Vineyards, Instagram at Cedar Rose Winery, and TikTok, I think we're at Cedar Rose Vineyards as well. So
awesome.
All right.
Great. Well, Dustin Tarpine, Cedar Rose Vineyards. We're here at the New Jersey Wine Expo at Bellworks in Homedale. I'm Mike Ham. Greetings from the Garden State Podcast, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. We'll be right back. Cool.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
Good talking
it.
to you.
For sure. All right, we're back here at the New Jersey Wine Expo. I'm Mike Ham. Greetings from the Garden State Podcast, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. We are joined now by Danny Klein. Danny, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. So let's set the scene a little bit. Let's introduce you to our listeners so that they know who is talking to them and they know kind of where you're coming from.
Okay, well, number one, I've been in the wine business for probably about 30 years or so. I am the regional vice president of the American Wine Society, the oldest and largest consumer educational wine organization in the United States. I also am a sommelier. I am a WSET 3 level and certified specialist of wine. Plus, I run a lot of big events in New York City and nationwide for guys like Robert Parker, James Suckling, as well as the biggest Bordeaux tasting in the United States.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, it sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about today's event. What'd you like? What stood out to you? All that kind of stuff.
Well, I've basically been a brand ambassador for the Garden State Wine Growers for many years now, and I've always promoted New Jersey wines, and it's so good to see as many wineries in one room at the same time.
Yeah.
Never seen anything like this before. There's usually a couple here, a couple there, but nothing like this. I think this is a step up for the New Jersey wine industry. The quality over the last couple years has been getting a lot better. Again, in New Jersey, it's tough on the East Coast. There's good years, there's bad years. Thank God this year's harvest everybody says, has been one of the best they've had in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, probably since 2012. So that's been a while. And I think the quality has really gone up. Some of the wines here have impressed me incredibly. Some of the wines, there's some new wineries here. There's just starting, and they need a couple years to hit the ground running. And they'll get better in time.
Sure.
Some of the quality wines now, when they started out, they weren't doing too well.
Yeah.
But they're all getting better, and it's nice. I've been promoting New Jersey wines in California, in North Carolina recently, in New York City. And it's tough when you say to people, "Oh, New Jersey wine." They look at you funny and they go, "What?
Like, what is that?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Most people, when they say New Jersey wine, they say, "Oh, is it made out of toxic waste?"
Sure.
I said, "No, but thank you." And then try this. I was just in North Carolina recently, and I'd mentioned this speaking before, that I had to drag people kicking and screaming into a New Jersey wine presentation. But by the end of the presentation, they thanked me for dragging them there because they were so impressed by some of the wines. They really loved it.
Yeah.
And the quality wine here is good. I mean, it's nice to see Alba here. They haven't been at a Garden State Wine Growers event in many years. And to have them here is really nice because they belong here.
Sure.
And one of the top quality wines and been doing it for years. Very successful. There's a couple wineries we're missing here, but I know they had other engagements at the time.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it. But all the regular wineries here have been putting out good stuff. I mean, some of my favorites today, the Coeur d'Est from Autumn Lake was wonderful. Cape May Winery had a concrete egg field blend with tons of minerality and just bursting on the scene. Of course, Unionville's Port is always good. Cameron Stark put it together, and he's doing well for years. And of course, White Irish barrel fermented Chardonnay is always one of my favorites. But every winery had something that was worth drinking, and some of them, just going through the line, every wine was quality.
Yeah.
It was really nice to be here.
Yeah, and can we also talk a little bit, kind of like shifting gears slightly, but like when I walked in around the halfway through the first session, this room was packed. And the energy was, before I even had everything set up, I had a couple people that were just like attendees.
Yeah.
They asked me like, can we just like hop on real fast so we can talk about the ones that we liked?
Oh,
and I was like, yeah, 100%. That's awesome. And I think like the energy being high, this being the first like New Jersey Wine Expo, the first time that we've had a New Jersey Wine Month as opposed to just a week. I think that like a lot of those things really stand out in terms of like, being a brand ambassador for New Jersey wine for as long as you have. This is like a big, and seemingly like one of those moments where it's like, you wanted to be there at that time because that's kind of like when things start to shift.
Absolutely. I actually blew off the Rutgers football game today. I had
Good for
tickets
you.
and I was ready to go, and I just said,
did they lose, I
nope,
think?
They won actually today.
Oh, they did.
They beat
were down
Minnesota.
16-14 when I was on my ride down.
And then I didn't know what to expect because this was thrown together sort of last minute. I didn't know how many people would show up.
Yeah.
When they told me there's over 1,000 people coming, I was like, wow, that is great. Love to see that. And a lot of the people here are not first timers. They sort of know their wine. So they're not right off the boat. And they drink French wine and Italian wine, but they also enjoy their New Jersey wine too. I was really impressed in how crowded it got here. I thought there was going to be 200, 300 people here.
Yeah, I had no idea that was going to be this
I
level.
had no idea. It got pretty packed for a while. It was nicer before everybody got in because I got to talk to the wine makers a little more. But when it was crowded, there was a lot of people. But they were all intelligent people who knew and had some knowledge about wine and were educated and liked their stuff. It was actually funny. So a couple came over. They're like, I don't see any sweet wines. I said, they're sweet wines. But it was nice to have the wineries showing their really good wines.
Yeah.
Years ago at New Jersey wine festivals, they used to put out the sweet wines and the white Zinfandels and that kind of stuff and have one or two good bottles under the table for the people who were in the know.
For the Danny Kleins of the world.
Today, everything was good wine out there on the top of the table. Another glass. Cheers. Actually, we've only broke a couple glasses today, which is pretty amazing with tile floors.
Sure.
But it was really impressive to see how enthusiastic not only people from New Jersey, but people outside the state were for New Jersey wines.
Yeah, 100%. So if people are listening to this and they're just like, man, they listen to a lot of people. We've had a bunch of people on the show so far. But like they need that little extra incentive to go out and either find it at a local liquor store, go to a vineyard, go to a winery and pick up a Jersey wine. What is your advice for them? Like what's going to get them over the hump?
Well, first of all, if you go into a liquor store in New Jersey,
you're not gonna
9 out of 10 times you're going to find sweet wine and fruit wine. You're not going to find
like
a quality wine like they've been pouring tonight. What they need to do is you tell your liquor stores, where's the quality New Jersey wine? I want the wines that are dinner friendly and food friendly, not the blueberry, although the blueberry is very good.
Sure.
I just had the Old York Peach and it was outstanding. But it's not your everyday wine to drink with dinner. That's a dessert wine. If you tell the liquor stores, they'll get it in.
Yeah.
They'll import it. Or bring it into the stores. And I think that's what I do. I tell them all the time. I say, oh, where's your New Jersey section? And they'll show me. And it'll be Tomasello White Zinfandel and a couple blueberries and Valenzano. I'll say, no, where's the good wine? And it's like, oh, we don't have any. But enough people go in and do that, they will start to sell them too.
Yeah. 100%. Well, Danny, thank you so much for jumping on with us. I know we're wrapping up here, but I appreciate you catching me before we packed it up.
My pleasure, Mike. Always a
Absolutely.
pleasure.
Great to
Anytime
meet
you
you.
want to talk about New Jersey wine, I'm
sure.
here.
I might take you up on that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
So this has been the Greenest Big RSA podcast, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. I'm Mike Ham. That was Danny Klein. We're here at the New Jersey Wine Expo at Bellworks in Homedale.